Hello, everybody. This is Abigail from Waiting Abigail, and welcome to episode 4 of Dear Abigail. Today, we're hanging out with the fellow indie artists, The Rising Fall, Everfelt, and Snapcat Bandits. Thank you guys for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for being here. We really appreciate it. Yeah, this is gonna be fun hanging out with you guys.
Thanks for the invite.
Let's just go around the box here and introduce yourselves, and you can tell us like where you're from, name of your band, and where you're from. So we'll start. Autumn, we're gonna skip you since you're actually like the DJ, but let's start with Adam.
All right, I'm the vocalist and lyricist for the band Everfelt. We hail from Southern Illinois, but I'm originally from Clearwater, Florida.
Nice. Corey, you're Everfelt also. Tell us your instrument.
Yes, I play lead guitar and rhythm guitar, and I'm originally from Southern Illinois.
Awesome.
Momo.
Yes, I am Momo. I play the bass guitar for Everfelt. I am originally from Southern Illinois and grew up in Southern Illinois.
Nice.
Drummer, Everfelt, Southern Illinois.
Mikey.
So, this is Mike from Snapcat Bandits. I play guitar, and for recording purposes, I record all the guitars and bass, and I'm on vocals. And born and raised here in the Detroit area, and currently residing in the Detroit suburbs.
I'm the drummer from Snapcat Bandits, Melanie, and I've been here in Detroit forever as well.
Nice. Oh yeah.
I'm KK, the singer for The Rising Fall. We're from Chicago, but we're actually in Florida right now doing this podcast with you.
It's awesome.
Dimitri, bass player for Rising Fall out of Chicago. Go Bears, and hope the Packers lose tonight. And no offense, Mike, Melanie, but Detroit as well.
Mike looks unaffected.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's all I have to say.
Hey, we played a couple months ago. We played a few shows with Snapcat up in the Detroit area, and it was awesome. So actually, Bay City and then outside of Detroit. So Mike and Melanie, great people and great band.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was awesome playing with you guys. We can't wait to do it again.
Well, checks in the mail. Thanks.
Awesome. Autumn, tell us about you. You're partly responsible for this.
I knew it. No. Yeah, I'm Autumn Michelle Royce. I am the owner and operator of Hott Radio and Royce Music Group. I'm originally from Round Lake, Illinois, and I am currently living in Chicago.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, again, we're glad all of you guys are here. It's really interesting. So we all, like over the past year, especially the past 6 months, I guess we kept finding ourselves on the same shows. And Autumn doesn't really get to answer first because I'll let her speak after everybody else does in terms of what the real reason is. But like, why do you guys think that like we ended up like, because the music is not necessarily the same, you know, it's like it's similar, but it's not the same. Adam, what are your thoughts on that?
For me, I think that the connection has been made for a few different reasons. I think we're fans of each other's music and sounds. I think number one, that's what really drew each other to each other when we're you know, and we're kind of in the same circles when it comes to like where we're trying to get with music. And then also, regardless of the difference of genre, there's still a meaning and a purpose behind each music. And I think that we're all drawn to that as artists when we really have a purpose behind what you're doing rather than just playing music. And I think that, and then also we're all really kind people who care about what we do. And so when we reached out to each other, that really shone through, you know, and I think that's how we're all sitting here together right now. So I think it's amazing. And I'm really happy to be sitting here with you guys. So,
well, likewise, Kim, Dimitri, what are your thoughts? We're probably close-ish genre-wise.
Yes, I think everyone in this group we're like almost like 4 degrees of separation. I'll put the 4 bands, separate, but because we all have a little different thing, little nuances that make us unique in our own, band, but we all fit together as far as not only supporting each other, but we're not a country band, we're not like a pop band, so we all have that little minutia that's like just that slight that makes us all unique and different, but it all works well together. And I think what's fascinating to me is not knowing any of your bands. I mean, we're kind of new on the scene, and I think a lot of, like, I know Waiting Abigail is kind of new on the scene too. It's interesting how we're kind of all getting to know each other from just a year to a year and a half. I mean, that's all that we've really been, out in the scene. But to make these friendships and to get our, the respect for each other's bands in such a strong, a statement to the indie scene and what we can do as an indie community,
What's really interesting is how upside down the music business is, that we all know each other via like online and talking to one another. Obviously with Mike and Melanie, we play with them, but back in the day it was like you play with bands and you built friendships with them and played shows with them. And now it's like, it's almost kind of reversed. It's like you meet people online and you communicate that way, and then eventually you will do shows with them and you finally meet them in person. So it's weird. It's like, it's a weird, it's just a weird industry right now, but it's cool. And it's great that everybody is getting along and just kind of supporting each other and doing what they love.
Yeah. Before I go to Mike and Melanie, I got to visit with them on an overnight. It was so fun. They came and picked me up from the hotel. I was there for work, and they took me around and showed me around. And like, I was just still to this day, I'm thinking like, I met these people through music, through this band, and like, they were so kind. They gave me a t-shirt, they bought me dinner and stuff, and it's just really, really cool. And the first thing that struck me about Mike is, I was like, that's one of the first posts. He was like, had one of our shirts on or whatever. No, Melanie did. Melanie had a shirt on, was playing a gig, and I was like, how cool is that? Because our first show, I remember thinking, which was a little less than a year ago, like another week, and it'll be a year, but I bought everybody's shirt. Like, I mean, that's probably the best thing you do for a band, right? So like, there were 5 bands at the showcase thing we're playing at, and I went by and I bought, and it's funny because I got like my size for everyone. And then I got smart later. I realized like, nobody wants to see me in this shirt. They probably want to see Abby or one of the other girls in this shirt. So I started buying smaller shirts after that. But anyways, there was Melanie playing a show with our shirt on, and I was like, these are my people and these are our people, because that's I mean, I just feel like we're trying to do this thing, but like the community and the peers, I think it's just overlooked, like your colleagues. What do you guys think up there in Detroit?
Yeah, Mike.
Well, yeah. Hey, so like a year ago, I mean, except for Melanie, I didn't know anybody on this screen that's here now. So it's amazing what a year can do for you,
right?
As far as making friends and just, the outreach is concerned. Melanie and I, we've been in and out of the Detroit scene for years. Okay. And the last time we did any original music was years ago. And the way it turned out, it wasn't as great as it is now. The Detroit music scene is kind of fractured. And I think a lot of big cities have fractured music scenes. And what I mean,
a different time frame too. It was hard to connect.
Well, what I mean by fractured is that a lot of bands, they don't support each other here. They're little cliquey communities, and so you'll have like 5 or 6 bands that'll always gravitate towards each other, another 4 or 5. And I didn't want to be part of that because, it reminded me of the old high school stuff and being cliquey and all that stuff. And so what I wanted to do is see, because so to kind of summarize, we about 7 or 8 years ago, I got back into music in the tribute scene and the cover band scene. And then Melanie kind of joined me in 2018 and 19 before the pandemic. Then when the pandemic hit and we kind of closed off and we didn't, when people weren't doing stuff, we decided to go down, and we were jamming out 75 to 100 covers, and we were just like, hey, let's just do it to blow off some steam. And then at the end of 21, Melanie said to me, she says, hey, why don't we try doing some original stuff again? So
yeah, I was the one that kind of pushed it because the songs were really good, and I'm like, hey, you can't just sit on those.
See,
so we got out there, and then we,
awesome.
I was doing a lot. I started all the social media stuff, and I think all of you, when we were first on social media, you were talking to me more than Mike, and he was like, I'm not sure, that this is going to work any better than it did last time. I says, no, you'll see. It'll be better. I promise.
Well, hold on. Let me say something to this. Oh, by the way, James, nice t-shirt, dude. Thanks.
Yeah, I noticed. That was awesome.
Man. So I was basically, by the time 2022 came around, I mean, I was basically retired, so to speak, and out of music. I mean, I hadn't played out in, 3 years, and I was just comfortable sitting on the couch watching movies and just doodling around with my guitar. I had no real plan or anything. I was just like, hey, I'm done with this. I don't really care anymore. I'm not really even going to try, because the bad experiences I had previously, and, the stuff I was just, because, I at that point I could have either taken it or I could have just left it. And so Melanie was like, well, hey, you wrote some pretty cool songs. Why don't you try to do something with this? So that's what got the ball rolling for us. And so that's kind of how things snowballed. And I actually gained more confidence the more I did it again. And it's, kind of like riding a bike kind of stuff. And so in moving forward, I got more confidence, and we got good feedback. And then meeting everybody here on screen within the last year. And we don't just have music in common. You know what I'm saying? I can talk to Dimitri about football. I can talk to Kim about anything. I mean,
Chicken McNuggets,
dude, seriously. And
Nothing wrong with a good nugget.
Lori and I, we don't even talk about music when we talk about comedy. I mean, that's like what draws Lori and me together, because we both love Chris Farley so much.
Much.
My brother does too. So I mean, like,
who doesn't?
We got together, we just talk comedy all day. So it's not just about music. It's about developing, as far as I'm concerned, meaningful relationships.
Yeah. That's what music's all about, man.
Yeah. And so that's kind of my perspective, is getting back into this was like a good snowball effect with music. And then, like Kim and Dimitri said, when we met and played a couple of gigs with them over the summer, that was just as awesome as it could be. You're putting faces that you see online and through text and messaging, and you see them in person. And it was just so awesome. And then when you came up to Detroit here in September and hung with us, I mean, that was the icing on the cake. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything cooler than that. So that's what this means to me, is meaningful relationships, and the music is just the vehicle to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I think all of you guys, like, it really stood out to me. And I think it probably was in Hott Radio chat, like, where it's like, man, these people are cool and they're very supportive. And it's kind of what we try to do on the local scene too. We try to support other bands. It's weird. You're talking about a fractured music scene, and it's funny because in interviews that we've done, the question comes up, oh, the Dallas scene is great, right? And like when they set it up or bait it like that, you kind of have to say yes. And it is, I mean, there's a ton of bands out there, but fractured's a great word. I mean, it's and it's probably, like you said, like that in every big city, but there are some bands that support other bands, and there's cliques and there's whatever. And we try to sort of like kind of stay out of the whole thing, really, which is crazy because you've got to be in it, right? So we've got our friends, but we always say we make for strange bedfellows, because we really do. Like the bands that we get along with, some of them really hate each other. Same with the recording people we use. Same with the promoters that we use. Like we kind of try to get along with everybody, because like, I don't know. I just, what's the point? We're doing this for fun and because we love music, and, we want to take it somewhere. But at the same time, I don't know. There's so many bitter and jaded people. And as Stephen Covey taught us, the pie is infinite, right? Okay. Autumn. So why in the world did we all end up getting played together all the time? And it's not just your station. I mean, like, true. I guess Doc Rock kind of started the Rising Fall, and I started seeing us together a lot. It's like, okay, well, two front women, I get it. But then it just kind of started spreading. Like you just see the same three names. What is the real reason? Drum roll.
Well, I want to start off by saying how freaking awesome it is to see everybody.
Mhm.
Love it.
But
Awesome to see
yeah, I
you.
don't
Yeah, it's
I
awesome to
don't
see
think it
you.
was by mistake. I mean, sometimes some things are just meant to happen because when Hot Headed Radio first started off, we were focused more on local bands, and then we just like the station took off. People started noticing what we were doing, and yeah, thanks to Doc Rock, when he played you guys, Waiting Abigail on Metal Shop 101. He totally teased us with it because he's like, I'm going to play you 2 songs and then I'll be right back. And he played Bad Mind and Falling Under without telling us who it was. And it was freaking killing me. I was messaging him during the show. And yeah, I think greatness just recognizes greatness. And here's the round table.
Well,
Yeah.
that's very nice of you to say that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like so back to the genre thing. We're kind of weirded out by that whole thing because we don't really know what we are. I guess where it's kind of the hardest to figure out, like to find yourself. We just play and like whatever comes out, like in the interviews and stuff, we call it the blender, but we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people that ride in the band. And so like kind of what comes out is what comes out. But it was really cool seeing all of you guys. And then Dimitri, I think you and I got into a chat. I was at somewhere in some hotel or whatever, and we started chatting or whatever. And in Hot Headed Radio's chat room, and that's kind of when we connected. And like, not to spoil the whole thing, but like for anybody that does watch this, we actually had a plan that all of us were going to get together and we were going to play in November, and it just didn't work out this year. But I feel like eventually it's going to work out.
Yes,
but yeah, I think definitely we definitely kind of likes sort of attract, and I think that just supporting each other and that kind of thing, it's so rare these days, unfortunately. But the geography thing, it doesn't matter anymore, in terms of like you can support another band wherever you are on the planet. And why not? Especially if you like their music, and if you like their music and they're good people,
that's everything.
That's everything.
Right. I think Adam hit it on the head when he was saying that we first respected each other's music and then we started reaching out to each other. And that's exactly what happened for me. I think I came across Awaiting Abigail, you guys on Doc Rock's show. And the first time I heard the song, I'm like, oh my God, who are these guys? Just like Autumn was saying, I'm like, we got to reach out to them because they're really good. But that was the thing. I was finding the bands that we really liked, and we were reaching out to you guys. And it was great when we did, and found out that, we were like-minded people and we had a lot of common, conversations of many types. So
for sure. Autumn, like what is running a show like, much less a station? It sounds like a super commitment that is beyond. And you took that post down like when we were getting flamed for, I don't know, something that we were doing or whatever, but it was right on kind of what you said about being an internet DJ. But like what is it? I can't imagine what it's like, because Rock Rage gave us that thing. All of a sudden they were like, hey, you have 3 hours, fill it up. And I was like at work, and I know I was like, I've got to have filler stuff in between. I can't imagine doing that every day. Like, what is that like?
That is something too. People think just, the radio station, you sit there, play whatever you want. No, it's an actual, like, you got to get it together. You got to get a flow going. You got to get a theme. Like, as if you just like play country and then rap and then you go to hard rock, people are gonna be like, what station am I listening to? You got to get a flow going. And actually, honestly, like, putting all your guys' music together for one of my shows was freaking awesome, because that gave me an idea of what it would sound like seeing all of you at a show together. So, but it's not just as easy as just sitting there. My shows are like 3 hours.
Wow.
So it literally takes me all week just to get that 3-hour show together, because I got to go through emails. I try not to do the same thing all the time. It's basically new music every time I have a show. unless I'm like highlighting some of our previous bands. But it is a lot of work. It's not just as simple as clicking on YouTube and here's my playlist, you know?
And I'd imagine you're probably not getting like just gigantic checks in the mail for that.
No. No. Yeah, it's internet radio is basically non-profit. Like there's no money to be made. And if you get into music for money, you're going to be kind of let down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I think a lot of the, I had mentioned this to Mike once. I said, I think the reason why the community is so tight and you're able to bring the community together is there isn't money involved in indie music too much. So it's like everybody's working for a same goal, to get the music heard on the radio, in different areas. And we're supporting each other, trying to, even share other bands with our own fans and stuff like that, just to get the word out and stuff like that. And nobody's doing that for money. We're all doing that because we love music, and
it's our passion. It's what our purpose, it's the reason why. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Autumn, where do you see the future of internet radio going, or radio in general, like the occupation or side project or whatever, as a DJ? Like, what does the future look like, do you think?
For internet radio, I think it's becoming more and more practical these days. Mostly because if you're tuning into an FM or an AM station, you're pretty much in your car, Yeah. Well,
Right.
I mean, some stations don't really have their phone apps that you can listen to them wherever, but I just feel like it's more practical these days to have your station on the internet where everything else is.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It's less equipment. It's less equipment too. So, and also going back to what Melanie was saying, like my station, HHR, we are independent as well. Like, and so reaching out to independent artists was just made sense.
Yeah. Would you say your biggest, like one of your biggest challenges is dealing with emails, and then like when files come in, I've seen a lot of people complain about, like, that's not tagged right, it's not titled right, etc.
It happens. That's for sure. It happens. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I try my best. I really do. I have made several mistakes, and I try to get better and better every time I go on air. But also sometimes there's a lot of misinformation when I get the emails. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you can only do what you're dealt, right? Like, I mean, as a band, as an indie band, we're just happy that we're getting played.
Right.
We almost don't care what you call us. Like, you're playing our music. So
Amen, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Lori, you want to take?
We're on a lot of stations together too.
Yeah, a lot.
I have noticed that throughout the last several months, and I love seeing that. I love it.
Amazing.
How about your local scenes? Adam, tell us about your venues, promoters. Like, what is it like? Do you have places to play around where you're at, or do you have to travel?
So for us in Southern Illinois, I mean, there are a few local spots that we play at that will let us play anytime we want. But to be honest, with us being all original psychedelic groove metal, like a Heavy Doors, basically, with a little White Zombie and a little bit of this and that. Because of that, we end up playing a lot in St. Louis. That's about a 2-hour drive for us. Most of our shows are booked in that area. We do have some local shows, but much like what you deal with the nepotism of the places and bigger cities, it's also in the smaller places as well. With me being the one that books the bands for Everfelt, and I book all our shows basically. Like for instance, in Carbondale, Illinois, if you didn't go to SIU and you're not connected to the schools there, you're not going to play at the venues that host to the students. So it's, there's a few different, barriers, no matter how good you are live. But we have found places within a 3-hour drive that have been amazing for us. So, we've already, booked 15 shows in the next year, and we're looking to get that show together with all of us sitting right here too. But yeah, so it's been that way. Probably for, a lot of the venues around here play a lot of country and rockabilly music and covers. So just the fact that we don't play any covers, that alone is, something that, can hinder you in the smaller places. But yeah, we found a lot of shows in Indiana and Missouri and Tennessee. So, and some in Illinois too.
Let's give a shout out to some of the places that you play. Like one of the ones that you were considering us all meeting, 21, was it Bar 21, Club 21?
So there's a few in St. Louis. There's the Foo Bar Lounge that just reopened back up. There's Red Flag. We're playing twice at Pops coming up this beginning of this year. It's in St. Louis as well. All the places that I think would be great for the three of us. That would be a decent enough size stage with a good sound system and good sound guys and all of that. Because you guys know how it is. You go to venues that call themselves music venues, and they're expecting you to bring the PA and run the sound and play the show and and cut the door. You know what I'm saying? And so there are a couple places we do know of that we can play at, that I can get a show together. We just got to find a date that works for everybody, and then it's really going to be a St. Louis venue though. That's going to be the best option for us. And what we'll do is we'll do a fourth band that's like a local band that's you know already has a really good draw. You know. And, a lot of times it is a 4 or 5 band thing in that area. So, but yeah, we can make that happen for sure.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, locally, it's like, we don't mind traveling because we just want to play our music in front of people. we just want to play. That to us, that's everything. And so, I'm sure you guys feel the same way, you know?
Yeah, we almost would rather travel. We don't want to be like play like a million local shows. Like we want those to kind of be special and then travel so we can get the music out there, meet more people like you guys. Dimitri and Kim, what's the scene like there in Chicago? Like what are some frequent places y'all play at?
It's the same every time we do interviews or talk to other bands, same thing, no matter what city you're in. It's a lot of tribute bands, a lot of cover bands. It's hard to get original bands into clubs and everything like that. So we played some local shows, which we have some connections with. But actually, we've found that mostly out-of-town gigs are the best ones to do down in Bloomington. We played Springfield. We're playing Fort Wayne. We did Davenport. But Fort Wayne, Indiana, coming up next week. Because we realized that a lot of people in the smaller towns, and Adam, maybe you guys, because you're down in Southern Illinois, they appreciate live music, original live music. They really do. And it seems to be a better reception with playing out-of-town gigs than it is locally, because there's so much competition and all the local venues want cover and tribute bands.
Yes.
25 years ago, when I started playing on the scene, you know, Disturbed had broke back in like 2000, and those guys are from where I live in that area. So a lot of our friends and everybody, they know those guys, and a lot of the clubs out there that we played at back in the day and even now, there were so many great original bands, and there was a community and clubs supported original music and all this stuff. You fast forward 25 years later, it's all cover and tribute bands. We feel that getting our music out, you know, through the virtual world, the internet radio, connecting with other bands and doing things like that, and then playing out of town shows, that's the best way to do it. Because locally, whether you're in Dallas, Chicago, New York, LA, whatever, it's just Detroit, you know, it's tough. It's not the same scene that it was. The support's not there anymore.
I have a Chicago question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only time I've ever been to Chicago, as Mike said, I'm a comedy junkie. So I got to do an improv festival, Chicago Improv Festival. And there was tons and tons, right, of comedy clubs, improv clubs, stuff like that. You could just walk up and down the street. It was amazing for me. But I was wondering, so what you're saying is there's not much of a music scene? Is it more like dominated by comedy, or
no comedy.
No.
Tribute and cover band.
A lot of the clubs that were around. So you had a lot of venues back in the day that were geared towards original music, and a lot of these clubs closed, whether they're in the city or the suburbs. And now there's new clubs that have opened, and all these new clubs that have opened cater towards the tribute and the cover bands. I mean, God, we can go on about how many Metallica tribute, Ozzy, Sabbath tributes there are. But it's a different scene. So it's not so much with the comedy. It's just different clubs, different people get older. People that were our age back 20 years ago, they have kids, families. They're not staying out till 2 a.m. to go see bands, and maybe like original music's not their thing. And the club owners right now, they're all looking at just money to see who can put asses in the seats. When you play out of town, people who don't see a lot of bands come in from, let's say, Chicago or Detroit or wherever you're from, and you come down and you travel 3-4 hours, they appreciate that. And we saw that in Bloomington, and we saw that in Springfield. And it's refreshing because you get treated like you're appreciated down there for that original music. So if you're outside of Dallas, you're outside of LA or whatever, and you venture 2 hours outside of town, people appreciate that. And we find that it's more wholesome, more real.
Yeah, that's a good point for sure. When I was in Detroit with Mike and Mel, they took me around to a bunch of places, and it was really cool to see the different venues. And I even met a venue owner while I was there, which was super cool also.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was Will at Corktown Tavern.
Yeah.
He's a really good dude. We played there a few times this past year. But James, like you were saying, there's a saturation point in your local music scene. You don't want to play too often because then you become like flavor of the month. And then, we know bands that play like monthly at specific venues, and it's almost like, they're saturating themselves. They're playing in January. They're also playing in February. We'll just go see them in February. And they missed the January show, for instance. So like here in Detroit,
I think we have more places to play here.
Yeah, there are a lot of places to play, but the thing is you got to be selective as to where you should play, because there's like 2 or 3 tiers of venues here. So there's like one tier of venues that, you can call up and book a show, or text them or email them right away and you can get in, but you're not guaranteed to play with maybe a set of bands that you line up with exactly or play similar music
ones
to
is
you.
when you put the show together with other bands.
And then there's a place we're playing a place in January called the Old Miami. It's near Wayne State University in downtown Detroit, not too far from where we took you, James, when we were showing you around. The Old Miami's been around since 1980, so it's like the classic dive bar in Detroit. It's been around. I mean, all the old veterans go there, to have a few pops and all that stuff, and they throw stuff at the bands and all that. You know what I mean?
It's also right next to Wayne State University, so you
Yeah.
get a lot of the kids coming in.
And so
They don't even start music till 10.
Yeah, Dimitri was talking about time-wise, right? So the Old Miami, they still go by the old adage of, hey, music at 10, and you got to close the place down. So we're not going to go on until 12:30 in the morning, and we got to close that place down. We're not going to get out of there till like 2.
75 minutes.
So we got to play like this long-ass set, right? And so we played the Old Miami years and years ago, and we had the running joke that there was a lawnmower on the side of the stage because they had grass in the backyard, and some dude was too lazy to get rid of the lawnmower. So we'd always laugh and have to step over the lawnmower to get on stage. But that's how old this bar is.
It's worse of a dive bar than it is now.
Oh yeah.
It used to be you walked up to that place and it had like there was no the building was not marked. It looked like an abandoned building. It really was hard to find. Now at least it's marked.
And then there's an upper tier of places to play in Michigan. If you go about 5 hours north of us to a place called Cadillac, it's way up north and it's in the middle of nowhere. There's this place called the Venue Event Center. And there's a guy up there that really runs a great operation. I think his name is Chuck. If I'm not remembering correctly. But anyways, that place is about a 400 to 600 seater or whatever. The capacity is between 400 and 600. There's literally nothing to do in and around Cadillac. It's the only music venue, and the place consistently sells out on name alone. I mean, they have like tribute bands come through. They have like cover bands. They also have a lot of original music bands that come through there. But it's really difficult for an opening band, like say for us, to get on the list, to get up there and play. I mean, you've really got to get on this quote unquote waiting list and then see if your music lines up with whoever the opening act is up there. But it's a really good place to play. Then there are a couple of other places nearby, one in Saginaw called the Venue Event Center, about an hour and 40 minutes away from us. Another place on the east side, which is about an hour and 10 minutes away from us, called the Diesel Concert Theater. A lot of those are ticket-driven venues, but they typically do really, really well with the acts that they bring in, and they're allowed, the support acts to come in, the local support acts to do it, and support, whoever's coming through. But the hidden gem in Michigan, and we figured this out when we went there in October, is Grand Rapids. It's 2 hours west of us. It's a college town. Grand Valley State University is there. The place was crawling with people, and we played on a Saturday night when it was during a rainstorm. I mean, we loaded in the rainstorm. We loaded out in a rainstorm. I mean, it kept raining all night, but there were people, like hordes of people coming in and out of that place. So Grand Rapids, I think they're maybe 2 to 3 hours away from Kim and Dimitri from the Rise and Fall. So it's like a really good located place between Detroit and Chicago.
We talked to the booking agent there. He was like, certain times a year are better than other times, and you want to hit it, when the kids are there at school, not at, during the summertime, for instance. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is when we did that show at Mulligan's, it brought in a lot of people.
Mulligan's is a place in Grand Rapids. I didn't say what the name of the club was.
Right. And we played in front of we opened for a band called Inaudible Darling. And so it was packed. And and there was all kinds of kids in there moshing and everything. It got a little wild in front. And so I had asked Shonda if that was what she usually plays in front of. We've never played in front of there. And she says, no. She goes, I don't know what happened. Why is there so many people here tonight? I mean, more than usual. And I said, I looked at Mike and I said, I hit them with a little bit of advertising over there in their area, and it's very possible that brings more people in. You never know if the advertising does. But she says that's never happened before, that they had that many people up front, moshing and everything. I said, has that ever happened here? And she says, no. I said, well, I'm thinking that the little bit of advertising we did does help. So
yeah, I hate to say it because it's a money pit for sure, but advertising 100% works. We did that when we went to LA, and there were a lot of people that came because they bought their tickets through us and stuff, and it was from the Meta ads. So hate to give them a plug, but that definitely you totally have to strategize for that kind of thing. What about Flint? I jammed with Heather today for a little bit, and she was mentioning there's a place in Flint that's a hidden gem.
Oh yeah, so there's two places in Flint, and I have a story, and Dimitri knows this story. So
I mean, don't drink the water there. Don't drink the water.
Forget the water.
Don't drink the water there. Bring your own.
Bottled water is recommended in Flint.
Right. Yes. See, he's got it right. So there's two places to play there. One is a brewing company, and I think Heather might know that one. That's actually the hidden gem. The second one is called the Corona Road Bar. Okay. And so we played this place back in June, and it's like 98 degrees up here. Okay. It's the first day of summer. It was like June 21st. We played it. And so we're making our way to the gig, and we're sweating our ass off just driving there. I mean, I'm looking outside and sweating as we're driving there. Right. So we get in and we're unloading our stuff.
But the power kept going out.
Well, hang on.
Remember, right?
So we open the door to go in and meet the sound guy and all that stuff. And let me tell you, dude, it was hotter in the club than out. It was like 110 degrees in this place. We come to find out later that they had AC, but they didn't want to.
It wasn't that.
Yes, it was. They didn't want to turn it on. They didn't want to turn the AC on in the middle of June. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we played there, and it's hot and everything. And Melanie had them. Did you get rid of the drum set on stage? I forget. There was a drum set on there that had sawdust on there because they never cleaned it off. Was that the one
where they had the plexiglass around the drum?
No, that was another place. No, so Melanie had to move drums off because it had sawdust on top from the other people who were jamming on it, and they never cleaned it. So she put her drum set on it.
He made me play his. Yeah. I couldn't move the drum set.
Sound guy was a real trip. Okay, so we get up there and we're playing, and halfway through the set, there's this dude sitting in the back of the bar. Okay, and he's hooting and hollering, whooping it up. And there's a break in between songs, and I'm taking a break and all that. And that dude in the back, he's on, you guys sound real good for a 2-piece. And I'm thinking to myself, should I say something to him? I said, yeah. I said, Well, I said, hey, you should see what we look like as a 6-piece chicken McNuggets. And the dude just rolled. He was laughing, dying laughing. And everybody in the bar started laughing at that comment. And the guy, he put his head down. He was just, you can see he was convulsively laughing, which is pretty funny. But
they were really receptive to us. When we got
They
off
were,
stage,
yeah.
you know, a lot of people ran up and gave me a hug and stuff. It was a really good crowd.
yeah, so Flint's got a couple of pretty decent venues to play. Yeah.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Abby?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. So what's y'all's songwriting process? And for you, Autumn, I know you kind of talked about it, but what's your DJ process like from day to day? Autumn, I guess you can go first since you're at the top.
Okay, so directing it towards my way. What was the question? That way I can.
It's like, what's your DJ process from like day to day, kind of, just like kind of a rundown.
Oh my goodness. Well, when we first started, we had like an actual like crew, and just over the year, things have changed. Like we used to have someone doing the socials, we would have someone answering the emails, responding back to bands, setting up shows. Now I'm in charge of all that.
Oh wow.
And it's a lot.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is just trying to just promote and share everybody else's stuff at the same time while focusing on emails, because those emails get backed up. And I know there's tons of bands out there who are like, hey, you never played us. But every day we'll get 40 to 50 emails. And I'm like, wow, that's quite a bit. Not only that, but like just promoting and just trying to do as much as we can to get, you know, more exposure for the bands and artists out there.
Awesome. Wow.
Amen.
Okay. The band
All
with
right,
Dave.
so songwriting process. So for us, it's really more than anything allowing ourselves to become the channel for the music. Not really trying to go for a sound. We have found the psychedelic groove metal. In a sense, more than anything, we love the melodic and the beautiful. We like to bring that to what is metal, what is the metal sound, and with Corey's guitar playing. And honestly, the songwriting process, when we, you know, Corey or Momo or even Danny will bring an idea, a song idea, whether it be a riff or a drum idea to the table, and we'll literally freestyle that idea for the next 30, 45 minutes. We'll record that. We'll go back, we'll listen to what we freestyled, and then we'll whittle that down. We'll keep what we like. We'll do it again. And literally when I can freestyle vocals for hours, really learned how to just channel the music like that. And because of that, I really allow, like, whatever the music naturally makes me sing about when we're freestyling and what we record, I literally write from that same, whatever that concept or thematic element was. That way it always remains fluid lyrically and musically. And so that's, for me, the writing process is how it works. But Corey, you can elaborate if you like.
I just want to say every one of you guys are great artists, and we love what we're doing, and that's how we connect. And our writing process, I get a guitar riff or a melody in my head, and basically I just try to agree with that melody, and then Adam, like he said, he just puts the lyrics to it, and we just go from there, and eventually it comes out to what it does. Just let the music flow through us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to add, working with these, I've been in all the bands. I started playing out when I was 14 years old. Didn't even drive, had to be picked up. But I've played with a lot of people, and these guys here, this band has got something really special. You all do. We're all different. But Adam's, you know, has an amazing voice. Corey makes up the coolest guitar parts. Momo is just amazing. He does all kinds of cool stuff on the bass. So to be able to find people that you're like-minded with, I mean, you search for that. And I've played with a lot of divas, and I can't stand that. There's no divas here. We all get along great. And the music comes really fast. And it's only happened one other time to me. So I really like where I'm at. And I was about ready to quit. I was like, not the band, quit playing drums for a while. And then I got invited to, hey, there's this band, they want you to fill in maybe. And once I heard the music, I'm like, this stuff's awesome. This stuff's great. I think I had 2 weeks to play with them. And I guess it just went okay. And this new album, I guess, comes out tomorrow. Adam, right?
Yeah.
That's
Tomorrow
awesome.
night.
Tomorrow, what time?
Yes, sir. Drops tomorrow.
Tonight,
8
Rob.
song album. Yeah.
Wow.
Stirring
And
to
I've
Wake.
heard all you guys,
9
and you guys
9
are
a.m.
great.
tomorrow. Our Stirring to Wake album.
Go check
Perfect.
it out, everybody.
Yeah,
It's an
Yeah,
amazing
I have too.
album. We can tell you that already.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's Bandcamp,
Thank you.
Spotify, everywhere. And it's our first 8-song album. We released a 5-song EP last year, and we're really proud of it. But it's, we got 11 songs already for the next album that we're working on. So it's, when he said the music's coming fast, he meant it. So it's like, especially Momo. I want Momo, your songwriting process, because he brought
Yeah.
Silhouette to the table,
Yeah.
and he's brought
That's my
more
favorite
songs
song.
that we're going to be introducing.
Yeah,
But go
I've
ahead,
made
Momo.
I've actually made 2 more earlier tonight, so I haven't shown that one yet. But yeah, I got some more in the bank.
That's awesome.
I believe
And
you.
one thing I would like to add, isn't it awesome not to be a cover band and be an original artist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't get in
Almost
the interview the other night, but
I wanted,
they asked the question if you like being in the studio and recording more or playing out live. And I think Adam and Corey, I think they like the live, I think a little bit more, but I'm the opposite way. I'd rather much record and make the music, because without the music, you don't have anything to take out. And that whole creating process and words and bringing it all out and then hearing it back and hearing what you've created, that's by far my favorite part. I missed out on that, so I just wanted to say
That's
that
amazing.
tonight. That's
Yeah. It's awesome.
that's right. I love playing live.
I wanted to mention something real quick for all 3 of you guys, all 3 of the bands. Awaiting Abigail, the songs Bad Mind and Falling Under are amazing. I listened to all your stuff, but those 2 really stuck out to me, especially Falling Under. I love the melodic. I think that's another thing we all have in common. We're all melodic in our genres that we play.
Yeah.
And we like real vocals, real singing, which is important to me for metal music. Snapcat Bandits, the songs Don't Want to Die and If Looks Could Kill were 2 of my favorites from you guys. I really love those songs. I love the energy, but I also love the ode to almost like the early 90s sound. It's really, really badass. And Rising Fall, If Only, and I Surrender are amazing songs. The composition, the musical composition, the lyrical, the vocals, the whole thing. I mean, I loved all your stuff, but those songs stood out to me, and I just wanted to let you guys know that you're
Thank you.
badasses in your own right. So
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Adam.
Appreciate it.
you're welcome.
KK, Dimitri, how about you guys? How does your songwriting process work?
Yeah.
So it's really collaborative. We have songs that are developed from maybe a simple, for example, Adam mentioned If Only. That song was written from the intro that you hear, that electronic intro, and our drummer was a DJ. He was a really well-known DJ back in the day, and he came up with this electronic intro.
3 chords.
3 chords, sent it my way, and a melody came to my head right away. So I wrote from that intro, and he wrote the bass intro to it too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
We write with just different ideas, and John had this electronic intro, so
Yeah.
Steve and I tried to figure out what the chords were.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, was it these 3 chords? What do we do with it? And then we just kind of progressed from there and did like this intro bass thing, and then Steve came in with the guitar, and Kim came in with the melodies. But I mean,
like I Surrender, I wrote that all on piano. That was all written on piano. So it's really collaborative. And then Steve will come up with a riff. Hell in My Chest, Breaking the Chain. He just comes in with 8 measures of a riff. And we're like, the idea just flows. So it's very collaborative. Yeah.
We riff on it. We see where it goes. We say, okay, we're going to change this, structure this. Maybe we go 2 parts here, 4 parts here on the second chorus, or whatever the case is. And then it's all collaborative. And I think we're all like old enough to know. And like, I think Danny was saying, it was like, the drama and all that stuff is gone. Like we're at the point in our lives where it's like we all respect one another as musicians, and it's not about I want to play faster, I want to play more beats or do whatever. It's like no, what's right for the song. So we all understand the songwriting.
The song
process.
is the most important thing about a band. It's not individual people. You could be the greatest guitar, like soloist, whatever. But if you're wailing on something and it overrides the vocals, that's not what songwriting. That's not what people like. They like the song first and foremost.
So we just jam on ideas and then we try and write it where it's going to fit and then go from there. And if something, with bass, it's like, I like the busy bass, but if it's something where it's like lay groove down like a Cliff Williams from AC/DC, lay it down and then let the guitars take over or the vocals or the drums. Sometimes, there's a part in songs where the drums need to be a little bit more active and the guitar needs this and the vocals, and you got to let it breathe at the ups and downs. So it's a songwriting process, which unfortunately, some bands obviously don't understand that, I should say, but we're at that point where we're all seasoned musicians, like all you guys are, and what's best for the song and what works, and then you have respect for one another to say, that'll work, or
that doesn't work. That's the best thing. We're like, hey, I don't think that's working, but you respect each other's opinion. Going, I'm not taking this to heart. My ego is, upset or whatever. You're just like, okay, let me hear your idea. Let's work this through. That's what's great. That you're mature enough to know. And my feelings aren't hurt. Let's work this through. As a band.
I don't know jack shit about music theory. So
he's like, I don't know theory whatsoever. Me and Steve are like, blah 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 blah.
So when the three of them are speaking, Portuguese. I ask Steve, I say, what chords are these and what are you doing here? And I'm like, okay, what's going to work? And then we'll work it out, guitar, bass. And then we'll try and figure out, does the vocal melodies work? And then what's going on with the drums? And then we just kind of we massage it a little bit and go, okay, this will work here. Let's try this. And then we'll play it a couple times. If it works, cool. If not, we'll break it down. So that's basically about it. It's a collaborative effort.
Yeah. Really.
To summarize it.
Awesome.
The two-piece.
Yeah, the two-piece.
Yeah, so
Mike and Melanie.
The labor of love back when we first started was a real big shit show. I'll tell you that.
We've matured a lot.
When I first started writing songs,
me too, man.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Right when I was back, in my younger days, when I sitting on my bedroom floor, trying to crank out songs because I would hear lots of things in my head, and before I even sought out a band, I would write songs and I would try to figure it out. And I wrote one song, and it's a song that we still play today. And we played it. I think we played it even 6 months ago. It's a song called Beginner's Luck. And it's kind of a song where it's kind of special in a way to me because it was one of the first songs I wrote that I actually knew what I was doing, but it doesn't sound too bad. And even today, it really doesn't sound that bad. But back then, from there, like when I met Melanie, we would have these jam sessions, okay? And a lot of times the jam sessions would go nowhere. And that's where the shit show came in, because we're going for like 2 hours. And I'm like, you got anything? No, I got nothing, man. And the flow wasn't there. And so that's how we used to try to write songs. So then this next time around here, starting back in, what was it, 22?
Completely different.
I said, I got to change my approach. So what I did is I had a notebook and I would just start writing lyrics and melodies. Okay. And I have like a notebook of stuff. And when I came to Melanie with our first, what would become our first EP, I had like 40 different songs there and song ideas, and they were fleshed out to a certain degree. So then
we would sit and listen to them.
Yeah, I would do lyrics and melody first.
Which ones we'd work on.
And then I'd find like chord progressions that would fit the mood of the song. And if they didn't fit, I would try another chord progression, and kind of like pieces to a puzzle until you find something that fits. Then I'd show them to Melanie, and we come in with a bunch of songs and whittle it down to like the 6 or 8 best ones.
I'm writing down this one, yes, this one, no, this one, yes.
And so that's kind of how, but now it's more of a collaborative effort. Now that we've got 2 EPs under our belt, with the new record we're working on, it's even more collaborative because.
But even now, our songwriting process has gotten a little more efficient.
It's a lot different now because see, and I'm sure this might be true with all the other bands here, is that when a song comes to you, you can write a song in 20 minutes and it sounds awesome. Or it might take you 2 or 3 years to write a song when you start it to finish, and it might not be ready for a while because you keep refining your methods and replacing parts of songs. Or like Kim and I, we would talk all the time because Kim is like, I think Kim's a brilliant lyricist, and she would tell me her process, and our processes are pretty much the same, where you're not satisfied with a word or a syllable here, or you need something else. You go back and you keep working on it until you're satisfied with the way that part of the song sounds. And so that's kind of how we do it. And so once a song is pretty much 80% worked out, I'll bring it to Melanie, and then she'll bring her opinions and she'll bring her knowledge of songwriting to it. And then we'll keep collaborating until the songs are complete. So our methods have changed over the years. I like this process that we do now is because, one, it's more collaborative. And two, I think we really get the most out of every song because we just don't sit there and go, yeah, we're satisfied or it's good enough. No, we want it to be badass. And unless that song's badass, it doesn't make the cut for us, at least the way we think about songs.
Well, I'll help with the arranging of the song a little bit. He'll bring the song and it's like he said, 80% done or whatever. And then I'll be like, wait a minute, I hear some things in here that should be in here that aren't in here. And here's what I hear. And I have to convey that to him. Here's what I hear on the guitar. He's looking at me like, what? Because I don't speak guitar too well, but, we figure it out. And, and so then I'll show it to him a little bit on the drums on what I'm talking about and stuff. And then we'll add that part in and it'll end up a little different than I imagined it to be, but it ends up close to it. And so then we kind of, add the parts to the songs until we're satisfied with them.
Yep.
But it really is only the two of us. I think I was asking, like, why does it take us a little longer to write these songs? And I think it's because it's only two of us.
She's like, no, she said to me recently, she's like, how can a band go in the studio for 8 hours and knock out a song and it takes us forever? And I said, well, hey, wait a second. There's only two of us. You're one drummer. I says, I'm doing the vocals, the bass, and all those guitars. I says, so I'm kind of doing the work of 5 people. So that's why it takes us maybe a little bit longer than maybe some other bands to do these things. But I once heard an interview with Sean Morgan of Seether. Sean Morgan said once, and it hit home with me. He said, just because you think a song is ready to record, take your time with it and don't rush it. Don't procrastinate, but don't rush it, because the song has to be awesome when you're recording it. And you can take your time. The more time you take, the better it's going to be. But like he said, you don't want to procrastinate and take forever to do it, but you got to do it in your time, the way you want it to come out to sound.
Right. We made a little mistake in the summer and we thought we were going to pull these songs through, and it didn't work. So they're getting done now.
Well, you have to make
the number one thing I've learned when it comes to songwriting is learning how to get out of your own way and allowing it to happen to you. For me, that's the number one thing I've learned as a songwriter. Is to not try to force anything, just like Mike was saying, to allow it to happen to you and to get out of your own way. Because more than anything, the best songs we've ever written or done is when we allow it to happen to us.
Right.
Nice. Hey, Corey, are you a Possessed fan at all?
Excuse me?
Are you a Possessed fan? Jeff Becerra in the current lineup? Because you look like Claudius Kramer.
I don't even know who that band is.
You'll have to look it up. You look exactly like Claudius Kramer. Great dude and a phenomenal guitar player. Yeah, you'll have to look it up. Lori,
that's Corey.
It's Corey. It's the same thing. Corey's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, James.
Yeah.
Question for you and Abby. How do you guys write your songs?
Well, it's so we have like a full range of things here. So it sounds like Everfelt jams a whole lot. We don't really jam at all. And that's totally different than when we were kids. 3 of us played together when we were kids and we jammed. There wasn't anything else to do, right? Like you can drive, but you can't really do a lot of other stuff. So we'd hang out and jam a lot. But it's very remote. Like, here's an idea. What do you think of this? And then we exchange files, a lot of file exchanging, and then like throwing stuff in to, workstation and bouncing ideas back and forth. And then when we come together, usually Heather and I, whether it's Abby's idea or a riff of mine or Lori's idea, it has to start with Heather and I. So there'll be like just rhythm, guitar, and drum practice. Like that's what's happening right now, is because there's so many of us. And, you know, obviously when Mike was around, there was 6 of us. Like we literally, like, to put us all in one room, you got to have an idea of what's going on before you get in there and everybody just starts playing their stuff. And also Abby, like when she joined the band, and also now she graduated, by the way, the other day. Congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Early college grad. But like, so she's in Houston, and she's, you know, a good 3-4 hours away. So it's collaborative, but it's very much distance collaboration. But you know, it seems to work, and we make time to jam when in smaller groups where it's more productive, I guess, because everybody is so busy with their outside lives. It would be and there's so many of us, like it would be kind of a handful to get together. But yeah, it usually comes with a riff. Lately we've been adapting some of Abby's pop stuff. She's got a pretty decent pop catalog that's like from her teenage years even, that are really good songs. And so some of those we're making rock songs, and then the other ones come from a guitar riff. And so that's kind of where we get to the blender aspect of it or whatever. But that's kind of our process. And then we just let it cook, you know, like you're talking about, like the song's not ready. It's not ready. We just kind of let it cook. And then when it's ready, then we go record it. And but yeah, it's there's definitely more. We're not really, with the exception of Heather and I, the drummer, we're not really like all sitting around jamming at all. It'd be cool if we could, but like there's just lots of things going on in everybody's life. So Lori, what do you have for the good people?
We meet every Sunday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah, every Sunday we play, no matter what, it seems like. So we're always fresh, always fresh.
Except for today.
And we create songs every weekend, it seems like. We're just under, it seems like.
Somebody's always got something going on.
It does, man. We got to tell you guys to slow down sometimes. I'm like, we got to work on these that we're already working on, man. We got to get these done.
And we do sound check a lot, and a lot of our songs come from sound check, and we're like, wow, that song, that's an awesome riff, and we just, you know, bring that to the table.
Hey, sorry, Adam, do you guys ever play?
You know, Momo makes it easy for us to record and listen back. So,
Adam, you guys ever play up in Charleston?
No.
Charleston, Illinois? Where EIU was at?
Charleston, Illinois? That's not too far from us. We've never played there, though.
No. I went to school down at EIU. There used to be a place over there called Ted's. Ted's Warehouse. That was a big place down there in Charleston.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's now like a youth center or something. But that was a great place in Charleston. That was for bands. But I didn't know if you guys played there. Not to hijack the interview.
No, that's cool.
No,
we're wanting to play Delmore Hall.
We've been a band since 2022. So.
Oh, Ted's long gone. All right. I'm an old man.
Yeah,
I don't remember graduating college. Well, I don't remember a lot of my 20s and 30s too. So anyway,
is that from old age, or is that from
that's from
other things? Other things.
You're just seeing.
Yeah.
That's funny. Hey, this is for Corey. So let me see if I can do this right here. Here's Claudius. Let me zoom in. I'll find a picture to zoom in on. There you go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's played with
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell no.
he's
Oh,
a he's,
that's so true, dude.
he's
I
a
used to have
really
I used to have a guitar just like that. I just sold.
That's great.
That's
He's
awesome.
he's a really cool dude. He's played with a lot of death metal bands up in the Bay Area. But anyways, it's funny because I met him when they came to Dallas a couple times, and we talked gear and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, man, see all those amps on stage? No, those are amps. I'm using a Kemper or whatever." And we had kind of had that discussion or whatever. But anyways, Miss Lori, you have anything for the congregation?
I got nothing. I just I really like everybody on this panel, so I wanted to be here. I had nothing of any use to interject or help. I just like everybody,
Thank
and
you for joining us.
it's funny to like people so much that you've never really met in person, but here we are.
Yeah, you can see the dangers of online dating.
It is.
Wouldn't it be even more awesome if we really meet in person, like in
Yes.
person?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be-
They have to do that.
Oh yeah.
That's what we've got to do that. And I am kind of looking at y'all's story though about it being hot up north. Really though? Does it really get hot up north, y'all?
They don't all have the same air conditioning that we do though.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
just
it's
messing
just-
with y'all. Everybody's silent. I'm like, I'm just,
I mean, during
During the summertime,
summer, yeah.
during the 2
You're
months of
cracking me
summer,
up.
we
I
have up
see why
there,
you went to
yeah.
the improv.
I'm just playing. I mean, we're in Texas. We're in the seventh layer of hell. So that's why I was just like,
Yeah.
oh,
It gets
how
to like
hot is
110 degrees here.
It
It's
gets,
so bad.
it gets very hot and humid in the Midwest up north, but not this weekend.
It's 7 degrees in Chicago.
We're not,
Wow.
Mike and Melanie are suffering up there.
Yep, you
Yep,
guys.
that's
Yeah, can you
Yeah,
tell?
it's freezing.
Can you tell in my voice I'm suffering? Yeah.
I was sitting on a
17
beach
degrees.
earlier.
Yeah, we were on a beach.
Not to rub it in, watching the Bears win, and all that's
Yeah,
good.
there you go.
Hey, James, when am I going to see you on a Southwest flight taking me somewhere, man?
I don't know, but that's funny because we were talking about when we first started chatting, we were talking about how Dimitri lives right there off the end of the runway or whatever. I don't know. We don't get many.
I live at the airport, yeah.
Yeah, we don't. Well, we nearly probably hit you every time we land because
You probably
it's,
almost did, yeah.
it's a very small airport. But I don't have overnights very often because it's a base. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we typically don't overnight in a base like that. But man, as soon as I'm there for you, and usually I was in Detroit again, but I was there for like 12 hours, so I didn't get. I mean, it's literally like I went to the room and went to sleep. But
What?
Hey,
man.
I did on the van ride, however, point out Corktown to everybody and told them
Yeah, there you go.
told him the story about the baseball field. And it's funny because the guy I was fine with was like, he didn't know that what was the hitter that hit the home run?
Oh, Kirk Gibson, yeah.
He did not know Kirk Gibson. He's like, Kirk Gibson didn't play for Detroit. He was famous for whatever. He named it whoever he played for afterwards.
Oh,
But
the Dodgers, yeah.
Yeah. But then he looked it up and I was like, yeah, dude, it's that right there. I told him that story. But yeah, no, if I'm ever around for sure, man, I'm buzzing
Dude.
you guys up to hang out for sure.
Hey, man, I go to Phoenix and Detroit a lot for work, so I know the Detroit area well. Next time I get up there solo without coworkers, Mike and Melanie, I will let you know for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's either into Detroit for some vendors or out to Windsor. But James, you stay over in Romulus by the hotels right by the airport there?
In Detroit?
Yeah.
No, they take us downtown. I think it's a contractual thing. Yeah.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Our union did that, and there's good and bad things to it because, like, if it's 14 hours or more, they have to take us to a really populated area where there's lots of options for food. If it's less than 14 hours, then it's usually right by the airport. But
yeah, because all those hotels right there north of the airport there in Romulus. But there's a place, Mike and Melanie, I think we talked about it, but Rock of Ages is that music shop.
Yeah.
Was it Ford and Merriman?
Ford Merriman. Yeah, it's my old neighborhood. Yep, where I grew up.
Great music shop there, man. I mean, that is the mecca of music stores.
The posters were there.
So I think King George put some posters up there for that show we had. Yep.
That's cool. No, we stay it's called Fort Shelby, right? Or Shelby?
That's what it is.
It's right across from a TV station.
Yeah, Channel 4 here in Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is like when James and I talked about logistics, he's like, yeah, you got to come downtown and pick me up. I'm like, damn, like we couldn't bring him back to my neighborhood, which is like a half hour outside. He's like, no, we got to hang out down here because it's easier. So we drove downtown to pick him up and then we just hung out down there. So yeah, that was kind of interesting to see and hear that, you had to be in a specific hotel area, when they drop you off there for being overnight.
That's wild. Go to go to Greektown, go to the casino over there.
Well, do you guys do you cross the border and go to Windsor at all?
I do. We've got a facility over there in Windsor.
What's the music scene like over there?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you, man. Probably zero.
Okay.
I would probably say less than zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a buddy online who goes across to Windsor. He's in a thrash metal band, and apparently there's some thrash metal going on in Windsor that him and his band play. I don't know, every 3-4 months they go to Windsor. But it's like Dimitri said, I don't really know the depth and the story of their music scene. I just know that there's a band that I'm aware of that goes there, and there's a pretty decent thrash metal scene.
Yeah, I would probably stay away from Windsor's not worth it. I mean,
yeah.
I know this is being recorded, and I love Windsor, but yes, we'll edit that.
For quality assurance, right?
The sound of the rising, falling fans of the rising,
falling fast. No, but I go there for work. I don't really know. I've never gone to a club out there. I mean, I don't even know where there's a rock club, to be honest with you, because I stay downtown Windsor, and then we go to our, for work, and we go about 20 minutes east. So there's not. I really don't know if there's a music scene there. I mean, there's bands that play at the casino, but that's more bigger bands. So
yeah, right, right.
But I'm not really sure of any clubs out there.
All right, we're to a very fun part of our podcast, which is what is the weirdest fan interaction that people have had, and we'll go with the front people. If they don't have something or they want to throw it to somebody else in the band, they can. But like the weirdest fan interaction you had, and it doesn't have to be in person. It can be online interaction. And actually, let's start with Autumn. What is this? What is the strangest interaction you've had with a fan or a listener of the show?
You really, really want to know? I don't even know if I could share those situations.
Well, you can sort of like
some of them are super awkward. That's all I can say. There's just
yeah.
You can some awkward moments.
Some awkward moments?
Definitely. I'll just keep it at that. It's generally always that same type of attention. And I'm like,
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Block. No, if you get the picture, that's pretty much
the picture.
My fan base, I guess. I don't know.
What about you guys, Adam? What's the weirdest fan interaction you've had?
I'm gonna have to pass this one off to Corey. Because Corey, you want to tell him?
I'm gonna say this crazy people or drunk people in the crowd want to come up and either headbang with me or hang on me and try to play guitar as I'm playing guitar, and they think they're part of the band.
Like that dude in Mount Vernon.
Yeah. It's something.
Overalls guy.
Just a lot of intoxicated people.
This dude was like 7'2", man. This dude was enormous, dude. Like,
and he spilt beer all over.
I was trying not to laugh. He was trying to take the mic from me while I was singing too. It was crazy, man.
That's very difficult.
That.
Two people playing the same guitar, unrehearsed. Yeah. And taking the mic. That's no bueno. What about?
He was enthusiastic. This guy.
Well, they usually are. What about you guys, Mike and Mel?
Yeah. So there's two of them like in recent times. So one of them was online, and a fan sent us a story, kind of like a story message text. I mean, it was like forever, to read it and all that. It was like 8 paragraphs or something. I'm over exaggerating, but apparently she lived in Minnesota, and her father had passed away. And she goes on and says how much that she really enjoys our music and everything. And then at some point towards the end, she's like,
was inviting us to play at his funeral.
Can you come to play at his funeral? And I looked at Molly. I said, well, we don't know
I felt bad for her.
We don't know this person at all. And I'm like, so it wasn't in Minnesota. She wanted us to come to Louisiana. And I'm like,
I couldn't figure out. I said, I think maybe she's young. You know, why is she asking us to play her father's funeral?
I've still never been to Louisiana, so I don't, you know, I mean, I was nice to her when I responded. I said, hey, I said, if we happen to tour through that area coming through in the near future, I said, we'd be glad to.
Yeah, I think she was listening to our music.
We'd be glad to coordinate, but it was a little awkward because we'd never had that kind of request before. You know, hey, can you come play my dad's? I can't see us playing "Don't Want to Die" at somebody's funeral. That doesn't like, you know what I mean. That'd be kind of weird. So, but the second
if looks
one
could kill.
Yeah, if looks could kill. See, die, kill. You know, the second one was. This was during the tribute days, and I don't think Melanie was there for this one.
No, you're forgetting the one more recent.
Which one am I forgetting? Okay, wait, there might be one more. Hold on. Which one are you talking about?
Back in March.
Oh, are you talking about in the crowd?
Let me tell you this.
Oh, let Melanie tell this story. Okay.
We had just gotten off the stage, and so we're playing with who is it? Motorcycle Coke Dick.
We were playing with this awesome thrash band called Coke Dick Motorcycle Awesome. They're like thrash legends in the Detroit area.
So we get off, you know, and you know, there's a fairly wild crowd there, you know, at the New Way bar, and they're getting, you know, they're moshing and all this stuff. And so I'm kind of standing out to the back of the mosh pit, and I'm just kind of like, hey, you know, I'm just going to push you guys back into the mosh pit. I'm just going to kind of stand off to the side. So one of the guys, he grabbed me, you know, and so he started to like manhandle me, so to speak, and wanted to throw me in the middle of the mosh pit.
With her Abigail t-shirt on, by the way.
With my Abigail t-shirt
Oh
on.
my gosh.
And so, you know, and it's so crowded and it's so loud, you know, everybody I'm with, nobody sees this happen. Right. So Mike's standing there. He doesn't see it happen. You know,
I looked away for a second. I didn't see it.
We were with didn't see it happen. So, you know, I had to take care of it myself. So I had to basically duck this guy.
Yeah, okay. she open hand cold cocked him.
Right. In the
I caught it out of the corner of my eye. She slapped the dude. So, and the dude comes back towards us.
But it wasn't over. And I thought that would be the end of it. I mean, I didn't deck him about, like, it was open hand. And I was like, oh. You know, so I just let him have it because he wouldn't let go. And, but he came after me after that. He was not going to stop. He started to come after me. And if I didn't, you know, if Mike wasn't there and other people weren't there and they stepped in front of me, he would have ducked me.
Yeah, I stepped in front of Melanie with another friend of ours, and we were just like,
they
hey,
had
dude,
to stop him.
Like, hey, dude, that's enough. Just back off. Okay?
They had to stop him from
That's
ducking
it.
me. I couldn't believe that he was going to do that, you know, and, you know, it was just really wild, you know, and so
yeah, it's pretty.
We got lucky because he was with a friend who was, well, really big. So if that guy was on his
like
side,
6'9" big, that's how big that dude was really tall.
We would have been done. Yeah. But he did not like what he saw, and so he actually, you know, took our side to it and grabbed his friend and took him outside of the bar, and you know, I guess scared the bejesus out of him, and he came back in and he apologized.
Yeah,
but that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that he at least got, yeah. Anybody else have some weird stories? I'll tell you.
Yeah, I do.
Go
but
for it.
This wasn't like a fan thing. This was almost like a hate thing. I played in a thrash metal, speed metal band when I was younger. And this little town we played in is called Cambria, Illinois. And it may have, I don't know, 300 or 400 people, and it was their town gathering to where they had picnic tables and people. So I'm like, where in the world did we get this show? So as I'm pulling up, the guitar player goes, "Oh my gosh, everybody's gumming slaw." There were like 60, 70, 80-year-old people. That's all I seen. And I thought, oh my gosh, they're not going to get this and they're going to hate us. And at some point, I was just so disconnected. I just was kind of looking at the bass player, and he had really long hair, and he was doing airplane spins with his hair. But he also had sinus problems. So a big loogie or something came out, and I was so disconnected from this show. I was just watching it in slow motion, trying to figure out where it landed. And afterwards, they said, "You guys are demonic. You're Satan worshipers. You're banned from ever coming back here again." I'm like, I don't think that would be on my list of priorities to go back to that. It was horrible. Got banned from a town.
Oh my gosh. That's really bad. Lori's trying to get back in, but she can't get back in. Same thing with Abby. That's weird. I'm not really sure what happened. Okay, well, I'll tell you ours. So in person, it probably has been nothing too weird, but sometimes people draw stuff for us and give us weird artwork or like make like logos for us. And then we actually have had several people give us songs, like just lyrics, which is cool. But the sometimes the people that it comes from it's like it's a little bit interesting. But the real kicker for the whole thing is so you guys, I know Mel and Mike use Fanfully. Does anybody else use any kind of automated like fan list type thing where it sends stuff out? Okay. So, well, it sends out like an automated thing. They sign up for our fan list and then like it sends out an automatic thing. And it's like, I would say not harassing, but like it can be persistent a little bit and you don't really like, you can't control it. Like there's not like a whatever, but it's very reasonable. Like you can stop, unsubscribe, whatever. Well, anyways, this guy, the first message right off the bat is kind of like, "Hey, welcome to the fan list. Thanks for signing up, blah, blah, blah." It's not trying to sell anything. Like it doesn't try to sell you anything unless you really engage with it. And then it'll offer you like, "Hey, you want a fan pack? This includes this, that, the other." Oh, wait, maybe Lori's back. This would be perfect time.
I am back. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
what happened?
No, I have no idea. But you're back at the perfect time.
Oh,
so
good.
so the fan list says, "Welcome to the fan club, blah, blah, blah. We're glad you are. What is your favorite streaming service?" Right away, the response was, and it's funny because I was on an overnight. I was like, had a little bit of insomnia. So I'm looking at my phone in the hotel. And like this guy says, "You ain't getting no money from me. My money's like my love. You've got to earn it." I was like, he went into this rant and it was longer. It was actually like 2 paragraphs. But anyways, he says, "I don't have any money to give you anyways. If I did, I wouldn't give it to you. But I wish you luck. I'll tell all my homies about you and whatever." So I'm like, okay, this guy is like trashed or like there's a special situation going on here. Anyways, then he goes on to tell us about his toe. He said, "I'm so broke. I went to the doctor. And he said," what, Lori?
Whoever they is, took his toe.
Oh,
He took his toe. He had and listen, I feel bad about. I'm sorry, dude. If you're out there listening somewhere, man, we got you. We'll send you a free T-shirt or something. But you sent us a freaking weird picture. He then sends us a picture. No kidding. He sends us a picture. There is his big toe gone. It looked like somebody had literally taken a pair of dikes and like snipped his big toe off. I mean,
dang.
Yeah.
Can you post that pic?
I probably shouldn't post it,
great.
but I will absolutely text it to you guys so that you can spread it around.
He didn't send you the toe.
No, and I'm upset about that, to be honest with you, because I would like to make a necklace out of that.
That's
Like, he can't send the toe because they took it.
That's a
I
little
wanted a necklace. And in fact, I wrote a song, since we're talking about song processes. I've got a song. It's a punk song. It's ready for James, and it's called "They Took Gene's Toe." So be ready.
You should call it Van Toe instead of Van Gogh.
Oh,
Van Toe.
Van Toe.
Well,
I don't think he took his own toe. They took it.
Yeah.
They.
It could have
And
been
I don't know
down there.
who they is,
Who's
but I'm
they,
scared.
It could
I
have
don't know,
been
but
me.
I'm scared.
The
well, the
aliens took
problem
it.
is,
He had gangrene or something.
No,
Well-
it looked gangreenish, and I broke my toe this week, and I'm scared they are gonna come for me.
No bandits.
Oh, that's so weird.
Like I got the chain on my door. I don't want they coming to take this damn toe.
Well, Lori, it's the small toe. You really don't need it anyway.
Lori,
That's
they're
true.
probably from Wisconsin because all those people that cut off appendages are called Dahmer or Geen.
They probably are. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Lock
Good
your
God.
doors.
well, I'll tell you this. They, I think, are doctors, and they kept his toe. That's why we can't have it. And from the looks of it, it's probably going to be a whole foot before too long here. I don't think the other toes in the foot are going to make it. Yeah, it
That's
did
a
not.
song, James.
You said they was
The situation did not look good down there in the picture. Like, I definitely think there's going to be some other things.
I think you should write a song called "Fourth Down and a Foot."
There you go. There you go. Well, hey, listen, I'll definitely send it to you guys because it's almost an unbelievable story. Then the other thing that is weird, staying on the topic of feet, is so we all thought, okay, when we started this band, like Abby, we got to watch out for Abby. She's 19 years old. People are going to be crude. People are going to be whatever. Not a thing. Not even at our biggest shows. Not one person has ever been inappropriate with her. But Lori is who they want.
This is an urban legend.
No, they want.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yes,
they do. They want her. They want
I believe
pictures of
it.
her feet. That's been asked. Pictures of her feet. Yeah, I want pictures of her feet.
You know how much eggs are? I'm this close to selling them.
Hey, you should. You should.
Instead of like an OnlyFans, it could be like
do what you
only
gotta do, you know?
larbs. And I mean only larbs, yeah. And it's just me. And it's just, I got fingers, toes, all sorts of shit.
No, you should sell each one.
Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to cuss on here.
Shit, man.
Oh no.
Redacted.
You got me cussing.
Redacted.
No, shit is fine, especially this far into it. It's just the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Now.
Yeah, true that.
Hour and a half, everyone's asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
They done said click.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna wrap not on
Cut
the
it into
toe.
2 parts. We're doing 2 parts.
We're gonna wrap not on the toe, but on some rapid fire questions. Okay. So these questions, you don't get to think about it. You don't get to like double answer. You don't get to be like, well, this is this, but this is this. You get the question, and then you have to say the answer, and it goes on to the next person. And we'll go like in order on the screen from left to right, top to bottom. Lori, do you have a copy of these? Like for which ones? Do you have a preference of which ones you want to do? Let's just do the first.
No, I can't.
2.
I cannot. I mean, it's a miracle I'm back on here. So you're gonna have to read them.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'll do both of them. I'll start and then I'll pass it to Autumn and it'll just go down the road. Okay. So who is, and I already know the answer for some of these people on here because you already said, but favorite professional sports team, go Rangers for me, Texas Rangers. Autumn.
Cubbies.
Danny.
Cowboys.
Adam.
Dallas, baby.
Corey.
You said football team, right? Or sports team?
Pro sports.
Cardinals.
Cardinals, nice. Momo.
Cubs.
Mike.
Red Wings.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Nice. Dimitri.
Bulls circa 80s and 90s Bulls. That's it.
Nice.
Bears.
Lori.
I just hope all the teams have fun.
And donate a toe.
Good answer. There you go.
Donate a toe this Christmas to Make-A-Wish Foundation or whatever.
That's
It's Dallas and also Green Bay, but I didn't want people to jump up my arse. So I know.
Mike and Melanie and I are heart palpitations right now.
We would take more than a toe with that one.
Jesus. Hey.
Well, if it was a historical question, I could say Dallas circa '90s, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
I'm actually a fair weather fan and actually don't care anything about
We'll go
sports.
Bears.
But that's okay.
That's
all
me
right.
too. I'm like,
Favorite
All right.
airline?
Next question. No. Next question. Favorite, and it has to be a chain so that we all know, like, can identify. Favorite chain, fast food joint. Chipotle. Autumn.
Chipotle, really? Oh no. I'm just saying McDonald's.
Fair enough, Danny.
That's hard. I'm a big guy too, so I know. I love me some Long John Silver's.
Nice. The good seafood. That's the only seafood I'll eat is Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
All right.
Banda Express.
Yeah,
Banda.
that's good.
Corey.
oh my
No,
goodness.
I like White Castle.
Oh
There
yeah,
you go.
we've had some stories with that.
No.
Momo.
I have to go with
Momo.
White Castle. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Mel.
Jimmy John's, because we always eat it before a show.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm a sucker for McDonald's French fries and apple pie. It's gotta be the worst food in the world, but that's mine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dimitri?
That's good stuff.
I'm going with the Bell, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Culver's.
Good one.
Culver's.
Culver's.
Lori.
I'm with you with this. I really like Taco Bell, but I don't get to have it. My son is a big time McDonald's fan, so it's McDonald's around here.
Do you guys remember, like, when you think about Taco Bell, like, everybody's obviously different ages, but we're kind of along the same age group. Do you remember when you could go to Taco Bell and, like, if you spent more than $3, you bought the whole menu?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So
I
good.
mean, like, seriously, like, and now, like, it's just like everything else, you know, it's expensive, but, like, I can remember going and it being like $2 and something, and you got like 3 tacos and a drink and whatever.
Going to
Yeah.
Taco
Hey,
Bell.
McDonald's.
It was great.
Like $1 an entree or something.
Going to Taco Bell now is a delicacy, man. I mean, if you really
Yeah.
want to spend some money, go to Taco Bell in the gas station, and you're good for, you're good for a month with expenses there. It costs you about $150.
It's like in
Right.
Demolition Man, where they when it was a big place to like a big restaurant, you got to dress up.
Yeah, can't be going to those fancy places.
What's your next
Well,
one, James?
Well, there's one more. Other activity, interest, hobby besides music. For me, it'd be flying. Airplanes. Autumn.
I'm actually really big into fishing and hunting, actually, believe it or not.
Cool. Danny.
I'm getting back into weightlifting. That's probably my second love to do.
Nice. Adam.
Writing, published author, and then also doing abstract painting.
That's badass, man. That's really
Thank
cool. Corey.
Thanks.
I do like doing tattoos, but it's one of
there's
them
one
hit
right
and
there.
miss things.
Oh, nice.
Corey's work.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
If you can get him to give you one.
Momo,
I
how
just
about
haven't
you?
had the
Whatever.
time. I just play guitar 6 hours a day. That's all I do.
Sweet. Momo.
And go to work.
Mine's
And go to work.
I really like gaming. That's probably.
That's fair. There's got to be one of those.
Momo's a
There's gotta be
super
one of those.
talented he's a super talented painter, sound and tech guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things
Sure.
Momo can do. He's not telling you about. He used to be a rapper
Yeah.
too. Don't let him lie.
Uh-oh.
He's got some serious dance moves too. You have to
Momo
show 'em
Z,
to him.
baby.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Momo,
Show
you
'em
gonna
those
spit a
dance
bar?
moves, Momo.
I ain't got none.
To the bar, baby.
I guess I'm right.
Yeah, Mel,
Whoa.
what you got?
Yeah.
That was good.
For me, it's dog shows. I take my dogs to AKC dog shows. I've got several champions.
That is really cool.
That's
What
awesome.
breed?
Pekingese.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. Mike?
I'm a classic movie enthusiast, and also comedy movie enthusiast, and to piggyback on that, I was helping Lori try to find an old classic Saturday Night Live episode, Chris Farley's last appearance in 1997. So I'm kind of like really into the Eddie Murphys, Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder, Chris Farley, David Spade. I like all sorts of comedians and the movies they played in, and Saturday Night Live skits and things of that nature. So that's kind of like a second love for me.
That's awesome. Dimitri?
I like comedy because I live in the state of Illinois, so I have to find something funny. But I also like, I don't know, travel planning, and just helping people out with, like, people are going somewhere and saying, hey, I've been there, I've traveled a lot, and just want to help them out, and saying, if you go to Phoenix, you go to Detroit, you go to LA, check these places out. But I know it's not very exciting, but I kind of like that.
No, it's cool. It's good information.
And military aircraft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would
KK?
say I was going to say weightlifting as well. I was a big fitness enthusiast before. As I get older, I'm like, I've done that in many years. I'm kind of tired of it, but that was one of them. But I love those games on your iPad, the block games where you have to get the block out of the colored
you don't have to
gate.
think too much.
And I'm like, I love those challenging memory games and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm trying to keep my memory sharp, as I get older. I'm like, well, 10 years from now, I'm like,
Pass me the cane.
yeah, I'm like,
Not the cocaine, not just the cane these days.
Well, if the music thing doesn't work out,
Hey, is this being recorded?
yeah, we can all do Domino's Club or something if the music thing doesn't work out. We can do crosswords and Domino's.
Yeah.
James,
Lori?
I'm gonna see you in Midway one day, man. We're gonna share some pretzels and a Coke.
There you go. There you
Nice.
go. Hang out in the food court.
Yeah, got that. There you go.
Lori, what you got?
Improv comedy.
And she's very good. She's very good, and she gigs that quite a bit too. Sometimes busier than other seasons.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was my thing. Like, I was done with music and I was just going to focus completely on comedy, and then Awaiting Abigail happened.
Yeah, but she still does
That's
comedy, and we try to get her. She's a little bit shy about it, but we want her to share more of it on the backstage page, because it's really cool what she does, and she hangs out with really cool people. Here's some useless trivia to end with. So, because you guys have mentioned it quite a bit. So I actually was in Chicago when Chris Farley died, not very far from the hotel. In fact, I remember the ambulances and everything. Yeah. So in a former life, I was a band director, and there's a big convention there, the Midwest Band and Orchestra Convention. It was in 98, 99. I don't remember which year it was. I'm sure you guys that are huge fans know. But yeah, so it was crazy because obviously it hit the news and it was whatever. But we were in the hotel down the street, and remember the ambulances and all the emergency stuff and everything. Yeah, I was there.
Is there a reason you've never told me this? You're in so much trouble.
Well, I mean, I didn't know, like, it could be kind of morbid. I didn't know if you'd be into it, or you'd be like, well, I don't really celebrate that part of it.
He's just waiting for this moment.
Finding a way to bring it
I'm
up.
into Gene's toe. Come on.
That's true.
Well,
That's
there
true.
you have it.
They're
Well, hey
equivalent.
guys, it's been an absolute blast. Thanks for coming on here, and it's gonna happen. We just don't know when, but we'll all get together for sure and have a show, and it'll be killer. Love all of y'all's music. You guys are all such amazing people, and that's what really makes the world go round. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you out there, and looking forward to that album drop tomorrow from you guys. That'll be really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Love you guys.
Love
Take it easy.
y'all. Love y'all.
All right,
Guys, have a good night.
Bye.